what the scripture refers to as the Nephilims are the sons of God. Who are the sons of God? The sons of God are fallen angels. They are angels that forsook their eternal estate by compromise, by rebellion, and God had driven them out of the heavens, and these guys found their way into the earth realm. And when they found their way into the earth realm, the scripture tells us that a point came in the earth realm where daughters were born to the sons of men, because people started to multiply. And as a result of this multiplication, beautiful women came into existence. And this breed called the Nephilims encountered, had access to these women. And the result of this access, this compromise, was that an abomination was born in the earth. An abomination was born. And what you need to understand about this text is that this abomination that was born in the earth had some particular traits that made them special. In verse 4, the scripture said that the Nephilims were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes of old. And the scripture acknowledges the fact that these guys, which were products of this abomination, were regarded to as heroes in the earth as at that time. They were men of great power, of great ability. So they were regarded to as men of renown. Now, what am I trying to say today? Now, there is this belief in Africa that, there are ancestors who had supernatural abilities. And, most of the times when these stories are told to us, we tend to disbelieve these stories. For example, I've heard strange stories from my background, from my community, where there were supernatural human beings who performed outstanding miracles. And because of these miracles, these people were immortalized. This is what gave birth to what we call ATR. This is what gave birth to ATR. This is what gave birth to the worship of ancestors. Can you now see that the scripture is complete? Now, but this is not what I'm even driving at. What I'm driving at is that there is a need for every believer to come into the consciousness that even up till this day, the products of these abominations are still in the earth. Because the scripture said that the Nephilims were in the earth in those days and also afterwards. So by implication, it means that even in our current reality, even in our current sphere, even in our current realm and existence in 2026, in the 21st century, these products of these abominations are still in the earth realm. Until this day, they have supernatural abilities. They have strange abilities. Some of them have now masqueraded even as pastors and preachers, who go around with great signs and wonders, deceiving even the very elect of God. These are products of an abomination. You may not agree with me, but I can tell you that in my few years in ministry, I've seen things that are strange, that I try to grasp my head around it and I cannot understand. And this is why it is very important for every believer to have a personal relationship with God. Because the products of these abominations are moving everywhere. They're in your offices. They're in your community. Some of them are your celebrities. And because of their superhuman abilities, they are deceiving many. They have deceived many, and they will deceive many. And that is why the book of Daniel tells us that those who know their God will be strong and will do exploit. I How many of you remember Goliath? Scripturally, we can deduce that Goliath was a descendant of the Nephilims. He had supernatural abilities in terms of war and combat. He was a mighty man. He was revered in his time and feared. You know, when he came against David, he said he has been fighting from the days of his youth. But glory be to Jesus. Glory be to Jesus. Because when David came against him, David overcame him. Why? Because David knew his God. There may be a man in your office right now who has decided to be a plague to you. There may be a woman around your vicinity who has made it a point of duty to frustrate your life, because she have access to portals and realms beyond this particular realm. And how did she come into this reality? She came into this reality because her family has links to the Nephilims. And because she comes from a background that has links to the Nephilims, she has learned the ancient practice of witchcraft and wizardry, divination, and that is why she threatens you. Now, I'm not trying to put fear in you. I'm just trying to bring you into the reality of what is going on. There are people with superhuman intelligence. They can cram textbooks. They can cram, hundreds of numbers without effort. Brothers and sisters, this is not just the gift of God. I believe in the gift of God. But I want to let you know that the Nephilims are still amongst us, even till this day. And some of them are leaders, they are politicians. You can't beat them. Inventors, creators, scientists, engineers, they're in every field. And that is why you who are a child of God, who comes from a pure breed, who is not a product of the abomination, of the compromise of the sons of God and the daughters of men, you must know your God. You must. It's a matter of urgency. There is a need for you to know your God. Else, you can't strive. You can't strive. You can't succeed. You can't achieve great things. So I ask you this question today. Do you know your God? If it so happens that one of these guys come after you, do you know your God? Goliath came against David. He came against Israel, trusting in his superhuman abilities. He thought David was just human, but when he failed to recognize is that the scripture says, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. David knew that scripture. And when David came against him, David didn't come against him in his natural abilities. David came against him in his supernatural abilities, tapped from the God realm. So I urge you today, brothers and sisters all over the world, it is time for you to know your God, so that you can do exploit. You were not born to be under. You didn't come to the earth realm to be normal. You didn't come to be beneath. The Lord gave us a single injunction. He said, occupy till I come. So it's time for you to occupy. It's time for you to dominate. It's time for you to strive. It's time for you to achieve greatness. It's time for you to achieve mighty things through God. But there is a need. You must know your God. And you must stand against and defeat every descendant of the Nephilims that have hijacked what belongs to you wherever you are. God bless you.